Welcome to episode 1.
Beautiful.
That's it. There you go.
Welcome to the Destroy Computer Club podcast. This is episode 1. I am Chris Smith, and I'm here with Ben Keating. We have a special guest here today.
We do. Sitting right in front of me.
Right in front.
Hello.
Mr. Shaun Jackson. He has a story that he's going to share. It's kind of crazy. And I don't know all of it because I didn't want him to spoil any of the story. So I only know parts of it. But it's a story about Google.
Yeah, just, it wasn't any particular day of importance, and I open up my phone, and my phone is telling me to log into my Google account, and I'm wondering, okay, what's wrong with that? And everything on my phone is completely disconnected from Google, and I go to sign in, and it turns out my account has been disabled.
And how did you message them? You can't open up Gmail and email them and say, hey, what's going on? Did you?
I went on my old Yahoo account. I haven't logged into that in years, but it's still there. Well, now I'm using it more. I changed up the password and made it all secure so that I can log in through my phone code, because now I'm a little paranoid.
What did Google say though? Because you checked the box, you said there was a robotic message and just an autoresponder saying thanks for contacting us.
Yeah, thanks for contacting us. It looks like your account has gone against the terms and conditions. I'm sorry, blah blah blah. And then I specifically sent a message back saying, how has my account gone against the terms and conditions? Because the link that they give you is all their very bland, long, miles long.
Includes everything,
yeah. It includes everything. I'm like, well...
Where's the TLDR?
Yeah. And they sent me back pretty much the same response. After I emailed them saying, what did I do? They sent me back the same thing.
You asked specifically, hey, what term or condition did cause this to be disabled, my account to be disabled? And they just said the terms and conditions caused it.
Yep. Yeah. And
wow.
So after all of that, the major thing that really hit me was, how dependent are we on Google?
What I'm curious about is when you first logged in to Google so you get a notification on your phone saying that your login's messed up, right? Mm-hmm. You go on your computer and it says your account's been disabled. Are you just thinking your Gmail account's disabled at this point, or what other did you even think about anything else at Google services, other Google services?
No, not at first, until any YouTube link I got onto doesn't work on mobile at all. Then I went and checked my drive, and I couldn't get into that, which has a lot of stuff in it from the past 10 years. And then it was anytime I tried to log into or try to use an app that was logged in using my Google account.
Wow.
Which is a lot of apps.
I wasn't even thinking about that in this story right now.
You know how many?
Yeah, absolutely.
How many apps there are?
It says continue with Google.
Yeah.
Continue with Google.
It's convenient.
Yeah, it is.
At the time. Now it's a big pain in the ass for you. And so they still haven't responded back. It's been several days. They haven't responded back with, to your Yahoo or emailed you at your Yahoo account saying, yeah, we looked into it further. It was a mistake. It got flagged by a bot, or you don't even have any idea really of what the terms would be.
Idea.
You're not doing anything nefarious. You're emailing and you're liking videos on YouTube and looking at Google Maps.
I think it was just either my account got hacked and got used wrongly, or it was some sort of misunderstanding, an automatic.
That's crazy too, because that happened with.
So BattleBots, all of the robot wars got flagged for animal cruelty. Which, that might be an episode in the future.
Yeah,
that
our
might
robots.
actually be a thing there. But that seems like another one of those automated decisions that would just completely does not work in the real world.
So just to give you an idea of the extent and why this is such a big thing, I mean, It's my Chrome account, which has all of my bookmarks, my history, my maps, which has my where I've been for the last how many ever years, all my starred locations where I've been, my YouTube, which I've had for 10 years with lots of playlists on it, all my favorite things, and I have personal uploaded videos to it. My Gmail, which I've had for 10 years, obviously, my Drive, Spreadsheets, and any of my apps all on my phone that I used to continue. I continued using Google, and my calendar.
Yeah.
Oh my god. Oh, and your,
yeah.
your
Wait.
contacts.
My contacts, all on Gmail. Like the list just keeps going and going, and the more I look into it, the more that gets added to those lists, and it's pretty crazy actually. And now it's got me scrambling. Like, oh my god, I was like totally dependent
Have you looked
on this account.
Have you looked to see if you mentioned YouTube? Did you have any public videos? Did you look to see if is your profile still publicly there?
I have to check that yet.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because that would be kind of an indicator on how bad you somehow breached these terms. Because if your content's also taken down, maybe that's different than just access into the account.
That's a possibility.
Ugh. So I mean, you're not clear of this problem if you're on the Apple side of things too. Really, I would like to think that you would, but it's kind of the same predicament. Even more so now because Apple's coming up. They're having their own login with Apple ID, federated login service. So they're kind of, everyone's going to equalize here. I feel this is not a Google specific problem. It's just they have really they've done such a good job over the last 10 years of just getting in to everything.
Absolutely everything.
Your contacts. That's
Spreadsheets.
Oh,
well,
don't say it again.
So think about how they got into that space too. Google started out as a search engine, but then
an input box.
Right, it's an input box. But even with the contacts, like the problem that they solved was the fact that you could synchronize your contacts to Google. So if your phone blows up, it doesn't matter. You just reconnect it and then you're good.
Yep.
Yes, which I found very convenient. Because when I changed phones, all I had to do was log into my Google account and everything was there.
The conversation that you have with people when, you're getting ready to nuke their machine and reinstall it. That was a very methodical practice back in the day, and some of us were better than others. Some of us remembered where to go get that bookmarks.html file to get all of your bookmarks out of Netscape.
Yep.
We've learned all these little nooks and crannies of the system, and we don't have that anymore. I think what we have now that we didn't really have on the machine directly is our the awareness to our rights of data ownership. There are efforts now for exporting, and to your point on your Excel meetup or your spreadsheet meetup, there's different ratings that sites and data sources can get based on how easily accessible or exportable your data is.
There's definitely awareness on the issue of how accessible your data is. But I think it's even harder. It kind of goes back to like the planned obsolescence for laptop batteries or phone batteries. Like you can't access it anymore. I think it's becoming similar with data. Yes, it is. There's more awareness on the level that we should be able to access that. We should be able to get access to our contacts and our data easily, export from Facebook, wherever. But I don't think realistically that we have that. And I don't think I didn't even think about it. Like I was kind of generally aware, like, someday I would like to get all my contacts stored in a file or on a USB drive, or all my photos downloaded, because all my photos are on Google. And then I wasn't, until Shaun told me the story, I was like, oh my God, I need to get on this, because that could happen at any point in time. And actually, that kind of led into me going, we have to have a podcast about this, was you were like, imagine one day you tried logging into your Google account and you didn't have access. How would you be affected? And I sat and thought about it. I was like, well, my business is a Google account, and the mail is, like, the email is Google, contacts are, YouTube page. I log in with Google everywhere for OAuth. All my, I have an Android phone, so I would be shut down instantly. Google Maps, everything.
I mean, just your calendar, I think, is
Your calendar is the biggest thing for business.
So one thing that I have always been aware of being at risk of losing my Gmail account, because you hear it often. I never really thought about the full gamut of services or the umbrella of services that you get with the Google. But one thing that you can do that I've been doing for forever, but you can jump in now and retroactively catch up, is run your mail locally through Thunderbird or another app, but through Pop, and say that you go ahead and keep or SMTP and just have a. Well, if you go through IMAP, you can say there is in Thunderbird anyway. Thunderbird seems to be the most flexible. You can keep a local copy.
Oh, and it syncs it
and
back, so then it'll mark it as read on.
Yes,
Gmail.
yeah, and that's been a pretty good place to be, because I can use it actively, like as a production mail program, but it's sitting there ever collecting and appending to a big mail archive. I think the file or folder is like 40 some gigs at this point. And what's neat about that is all searchable. All of the email, all of the threads is searchable, even if Google fucks me over and kicks me out of everything. So I don't know what to do with a calendar. I don't really use Google Calendar. In fact, I'm probably at this table, I'm probably the one that uses Google the least. I use the search. I use Docs. I don't use it for contacts. I don't use it for the calendar. What other services are there? Bookmarks? No. Well, I guess you don't even realize that, do you?
No, you don't.
Google Chrome's just got that sync thing.
Saved passwords in
I do
Google
use
Chrome.
that.
Yeah.
Oh, saved
All the
passwords. I
passwords.
do. Okay, so look at that.
Yeah.
Never mind.
YouTube.
I am not exempt.
YouTube likes, YouTube,
History.
histories, watch lists on YouTube. Google Maps, favorite places on Google Maps. Google Reviews.
You know what? I have to use fucking MapQuest now.
Oh, yeah. Google Maps doesn't work on his phone.
It won't work without an account.
No.
And you can't create a new account.
It's not working. No.
So maybe look at this. Let's just simulate an opportunity. Put ourselves through a simulation of this is an opportunity for Shaun. you got cut.
Mm-hmm.
All of that data is now. You can't access it. You'll have to check YouTube to see if people can access some of your meta stuff or some of the videos. But if you got kicked out and everything got nuked, this might be a Hail Mary of an opportunity to start fresh on the internet.
Absolutely, yeah. I was thinking that. I'm like, man, I'm going to get rid of Chrome and go on Firefox, install that. And
so what kind of things
and,
have you already are ready to do differently?
Well, I've been changing all the passwords on everything because the one thing I'm assuming is that it got hacked, my account. So changing passwords, making sure everything is secure. Like
2-factor.
Yeah, I did 2-factor on my Yahoo account, which was one of the first things I did. I'm going to start backing up all my photos that are now all sitting on an old hard drive. I have a lot of work ahead of me.
That's a lot.
What's the... okay, Google turns on your account tomorrow. Do you just start using it again, or what?
Is it dead to you?
What rebuilds your trust? Like, I don't think that as a company, I don't think you could rebuild that trust with the consumer.
No, I would pull everything, delete everything, like find the button in wherever it says in Gmail to delete this account and everything attached to it.
That's the other thing that is crazy is when Shaun told me that Google got disabled his account. I was like, no way. I originally opened up Gmail and I sent his email and it comes back right away as this account's disabled. That's crazy. So if you think about it, like, let's say if you are a business, right? Yeah. That's a bad image to have as a business, or even just a bad image if you're an employee. If you're working somewhere and your boss sends you an email to your personal email because that's the only one you got. No, sorry, Shaun's email is disabled.
What kind of message does that put out?
What kind of person is Shaun? Yeah, that's crazy.
So what are you going to do with your phone? Because it seems like the Android phones are pretty...
I was actually looking into getting an open source phone, and Chris has showed me there is such a thing available.
There's a company called Purism, and it's the website's PURI.SM. They started out making like laptops or Linux based, and the thing that I like about them is they have hardware kill switches. You want to kill Wi-Fi, it's a physical switch that's on the board. You want to kill your mic, there's a physical switch for the mic, for the camera. And then they started a campaign for building a phone. The phone is like $700. I think it's still in development. It's about like $700, brand new. But that's about what a phone costs anyway.
That's how much mine costs.
Yeah.
You know.
And it runs a version of Linux, but it looks really nice. It looks like a free version of Android. So.
Oh, and if Linux is running on it, it'll run like a dream.
Yeah.
Like a hacked phone.
Yeah. There was no one person at Google that just went to Shaun's account, looked through his emails, and disabled it. There's no one that goes. Yeah, there's no one that says, you know what, Shaun, I don't like you.
Mess with that guy.
Disconnect. I think that.
But
I think
what? Let's acknowledge that does happen.
It does.
Usually with remote desktoping. Look what I can do, and then people do it. So it could happen. It could have been a person who just randomly sought you out, or they know you.
So I don't.
Do you know anyone at Google, Shaun?
No, I don't.
So I think the larger thing to talk about though is that there isn't one person that just like disconnects Shaun's account, but it's more of it's part of the AI. It's part of that model that's training, and that people are training that model to go through and disable fraud accounts or whatever accounts are towards the terms of service. And that's what happens even on YouTube and, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter. That every company is essentially using AI to disable accounts. So at what point, does it become, does the scale tip where AI is disabling too many accounts and now there's so many more appeals for getting those disabled accounts open compared to AI isn't disabling enough and there's fraud or theft or whatever on there. It's kind of a crazy thing to think about.
So we need a follow up. Maybe at a real meetup, we need to bring Shaun back to the internet progress bar.
I think I think we also need to at a meetup is to have a how can we create an account and get banned on Google? Let's see what we can do to violate the terms and conditions. With a VPN and a fake account, and let's see if we could trigger the AI or whatever ban Shaun to ban us.
So that's a good idea. I like the idea of trying to set up an account and basically be a chaos monkey in it and try to break it. Is this something that we could bring to Maker Faire at our booth and just let anyone walking by help breach the terms with us?
Maybe.
If at any rate, I think it would be important first to let everyone know who's listening that we will be at Maker Faire this year. Should bring your story at least, because that is an opportunity for so many people walking by taking pictures with their phones and asking them what would happen if this went away right now.
I would print out a nice. This is how invested you are into Google, and then list the number of things that your account is likely attached to.
You know that show 48 hours? If it's not solved within the first 48 hours, it's it's unsolvable.
It's kind of the same thing. If your Google account isn't restored within the first 48 hours, you're screwed.
You should do a timeline of how you felt in that first 48 hour period of how you realized. First Gmail, you're screwed on Gmail, but then how many hours did it take until you got to contacts? And that's threat level red, right?
I do have to bring up a funny point that I noticed. So I'm totally logged out of all of my Google accounts everywhere. But when I go onto Chrome on my phone, when you first press Google Chrome, you get the search bar, and then there's usually news articles below that. They still know me and know everything that I like because all the news articles pertain to all my interests.
They still have a
even
profile.
though I'm not logged in, they still know all of my favorite things.
They fingerprinted you. They know who you are. So, of course, because that's their business interest. They still want to cater to their advertisers. They may deny you to use their services, but they're going to let the advertisers know, oh, yeah, we know Shaun.
Yeah, but I'm not logged into anything, so...
That's fingerprinting, though.
Fingerprinting, sure.
Yeah, that's fingerprinting because they know the make of the phone, the model of the phone, the version that's running, and the version of Chrome that's running, and also what time you're accessing it. All of those 5 to 10 factors is called a fingerprint, so it uniquely identifies you anywhere you go on the web.
And it's not necessarily just a bad thing. Mind you, that Google has user stories where they're capturing anonymous people for the first time using the service, and they're enhancing that experience. I mean, these are features. These aren't these aren't sneaky like
Yeah.
skeet trying
Yeah.
to get your
Well,
data, but it feels that way.
It
on
feels
the
that
other
way
side.
after you
Yeah.
lost it all, you know.
Well, thank you for the story. It's kind of scary to, I think it's kind of scary to just think about what would happen if your account got disabled and if you're locked out.
Make sure your phone number on file is correct, everybody.
Yeah.
Make sure two-factor is enabled.
Mhm.
Make sure your security questions are ones that you actually answered truthfully and didn't just scribble something in because they might save your life.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, that sounds really extreme and geeky, but it's true. Like, if it's everything,
true,
it's kind of your life. So, holy cow.
It's crazy. Well, thank you for the story. For everyone else listening, we are going to be at Maker Faire September 14th and 15th. We're going to have a booth there. Everyone is welcome to come. We might have Shaun there with what to do on Google when you get locked out, or what not to do with Google with an account.
All right, that's it.